Good morning. I hope that you all are having a beautiful day. Welcome to the Leadership Pro podcast, where fairness meets leadership and wellness meets purpose. I'm Dr. Wilhelmina, and today we're diving into a conversation that every leader needs to hear: how burnout shows up in you, not just your team. So let's start. We're going to talk about some deeper signs of burnout. We're going to go into giving some specifics that will help you recognize it in yourself. Here's the thing: burnout doesn't always announce itself. It's not just exhaustion or stress. Sometimes it's hidden in the way we lead. You might be burned out if, one, you're quick to make decisions just to get it done instead of thinking them through. So I like to give the examples from my life because then I'm not putting anyone else out there. So I was a single parent. So I'm talking about leading in the home. And oftentimes it was just easier just to give a quick decision instead of going round and round talking about why we're doing this or that way or whatever. So one of the situations that I would have sometimes in my home life was that I would, instead of having that conversation, I'm worn out, I'm tired, whatever, and my child would ask, "Hey, can I stay up late?" Or I might have just made the decision to stay out, and then we're hanging out at a friend's house with their kids, and it gets to be late. And one of the things that my child really appreciated was having a schedule, and as long as we stuck to that schedule, everything was fine. But I didn't always think it through. So if I let these kind of things happen, the next day the teacher would pay for it. I'd be getting a call sometime during that afternoon about things that my child did at school. And so that is a good example of just to get it done, just saying, yes, okay, letting it happen, breaking those boundaries that I know are not going to work well for my child. So I'm talking about leaders in the home, in the community, or at work. So these items can show burnout in any of the areas, but that situation was about home. So another one, you start seeing your employees as tasks instead of people. So I'm sure you can get what that means. You're just worrying about them getting things done, not so much about their wellness. You feel irritated by the same feedback you once encouraged. So it's the do as I say, not as I do kind of thing to get through your day and not have the conversation. Or maybe your calendar is full. Maybe you're working in the community, but your purpose feels empty. Maybe you got on all these committees with your community work and you're just stretched out too thin, and you're not feeling good about it. It's not meeting its purpose, and you're feeling empty. It's helping people, but you're not taking care of yourself. These are small cracks in the surface, but they tell a big story. Leaders often operate on autopilot. So you're high performing, high achieving, high expecting until the body and the mind start whispering, slow down. So let's talk about work-life imbalance, because a lot of times it's disguised as dedication. We love to call it dedication, but sometimes it's imbalance disguises that disguised as it's imbalance disguised as dedication. So if you find yourself saying, "I'll rest after the deadline. My team needs me more than I need a break," that's not leadership. That's depletion. Overworking sends a silent message to your direct reports. And if they want to succeed here, you have to sacrifice your life too. I can remember I had a supervisor, and I loved this supervisor because he was available to everybody anytime. So he was good about giving his phone number out to everybody. in the organization. Didn't matter. Rank didn't matter. Situation didn't matter. His number was there. So very available, which was kind and it was nice. But at the same time, his wellness suffers from that. So, and I can give you an example of what it says to your teammates or your direct reports. So I had a cell phone. And I had a BlackBerry first. And during that time, I would answer the phone anytime. Didn't matter because I was trying to be that same available for everybody whenever they needed. So if I had someone, there was a specific task we did in our office, and one of the team members would be doing it. And it could be a weekend. It could be in the evening. Maybe they had a hiccup with what they were doing or with the system they were using, and we'd get these calls. And I had a cell phone, so they had my work cell phone, and when I had a BlackBerry, and they just call or send me an email anytime, and I would answer the email anytime. But these aren't emergency situations. We didn't work in an emergency environment, like in a hospital, in ER, or something like that, where you had to get that answer to them. So that was where I thought I needed to be. I was modeling the same behavior I was seeing. So eventually I got hip to this isn't working for me. And I gave the phone back, and I was just available during duty hours and to my supervisor if they needed me anytime they could call. So that's how it spreads through the organization. And not because people are weak, but they're just trying to be like that leader, watching what their leader does. Your energy sets the emotional temperature for your team. When you're running on fumes, everyone feels it. Motivation drops, innovation slows, and even fairness takes a hit because decisions are made from a survival mode and not strategy. So, like I said, this is a short podcast today. We're going to now talk about leading from restoration. Healthy leadership, isn't about perfection. It's about consistent restoration. So ask yourself, when's the last time I felt joy in my work? Do you have boundaries that protect your peace? So clearly, when I was answering that phone or emails at any time, didn't matter because I could hear the phone ring in the middle of the night even. And for that organization, we were all over the region. So sometimes we were in different area codes. So it would be maybe later or earlier, but I would pick it up. So it wasn't protecting my peace. I'm being woke up or in the middle of doing something with family and getting a call. It just wasn't protecting me. Are you modeling wellness as much as you model work ethic? That's important. So ask yourself those 3 questions. Taking a pause doesn't make you less a leader. It makes you a sustainable leader. So let's get to our reflection. This week, ask yourself and your team, whether it's in the community, the family, or at work, ask them, what would our workplace look like if rest was a part of our performance plan? So at home, what would our home be like if rest was a part of our plan? So so you might be surprised how much stronger your leadership feels when you stop running on empty. So I hope this podcast helped someone today. And if it did, share it. Let them know. Let the people know that this would be good for them. Share it with the podcast. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Dr. Wilhelmina, and this has been the Leadership Pro podcast, where fairness meets leadership and wellness meets purpose. I hope that you have a beautiful day, rest of your day, and return back to hear future podcast. Thank you.